Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Atlanta, FALCONS. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying attention to the NFL news cycle lately, you know that the Atlanta Falcons are stirring the pot, especially when it comes to their secondary. And let me tell you, this isn't just some minor off-season chatter. We're talking about a real potential game changer for the Falcons' defense, one that could significantly alter their trajectory in the NFC South, and more broadly, in the NFC as a whole. The buzz is about the Falcons' pursuit of top-tier cornerback talent, and it's rooted in a clear recognition of a major issue that's been lingering for a while now: the lack of depth in their secondary. You see, the Falcons have been trying to build a competitive roster that can push deep into the playoffs. They've invested heavily in their offensive line, upgrading their weapons around their young quarterback, Desmond Ridder, and strengthening their defensive front. But one area where they've faced consistent challenges is in the secondary, specifically at the cornerback position. It's a tricky spot because, unlike the defensive line or linebacker core, cornerback depth can make or break your pass defense, especially in the playoffs when facing top-tier quarterbacks who exploit even the smallest weaknesses. Now, recent reports have shed some light on how serious the Falcons are about addressing this issue. According to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the Falcons were actually very interested in Jaire Alexander before he signed with the Baltimore Ravens. That's a significant detail because Alexander is considered one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL, known for his exceptional coverage skills, agility, and football IQ. The fact that Atlanta was in the mix for him tells us a lot about how committed they are to shoring up that secondary. Apparently, they even offered him more money than other teams interested in his services, which is a major statement of their intent. But as we all know, Alexander ultimately chose the Ravens, a team that's been building a strong defense of its own, especially after acquiring star players like Marcus Williams and adding depth along the line. So, what does that mean for the Falcons now? Well, it's pretty clear that they're going to shift their focus back to other high-profile players, and the logical target now appears to be Jalen Ramsey. Ramsey, for those who might not be fully up to date, is a proven veteran cornerback with a track record of shutting down some of the best receivers in the league. His time with the Los Angeles Rams really cemented his reputation, and he's known for his physical style of play, ball-hawking ability, and leadership qualities. And here's the interesting part. Ramsey has a special relationship with Falcons head coach Raheem Morris, dating back to their days together with the Rams. That connection could be a crucial factor in making a deal happen, especially since both sides have expressed mutual interest in reuniting. The question, of course, is what does it take to bring Ramsey to Atlanta? The Dolphins, his current team, are in a tricky spot because Ramsey doesn't have a no-trade clause. That means, technically, Miami can trade him if the right deal comes along, even if Ramsey prefers to stay on the West Coast. But his preference only goes so far. If the Dolphins see value in trading him to Atlanta, they might do it, especially if it benefits their long-term plans or rebuild strategy. That's where things get complicated because acquiring a player like Ramsey isn't just about offering a few draft picks. The Falcons would need to get creative, especially considering their draft capital situation. After making a couple of trades during this year's draft to move up or acquire additional picks, their stock of assets isn't as robust as it might have been in previous years. However, there's a real opportunity here. A trade for Ramsey would give the Falcons a defense that's been in progress, but still lacking that star shutdown corner to truly take them to the next level. Imagine a secondary with A.J. Terrell, who's already established himself as one of the league's top young corners, backed by the veteran presence of Ramsey. This would instantly upgrade their pass defense and give defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich more versatility in his schemes, especially with blitz packages. And let's not forget, adding Ramsey would move Mike Hughes to the bench as a valuable backup, giving the team more depth and flexibility. Hughes has proven capable when called upon, but Ramsey's presence would elevate the entire unit. Of course, the main obstacle is the trade cost. The Dolphins aren't in a position where they're actively seeking to move Ramsey, but if the Falcons can offer a compelling package, perhaps a mix of draft picks, a player or two, and some future considerations, they could make it happen. The challenge is that Ramsey has expressed some interest in staying on the West Coast, which complicates things. But again, without a no-trade clause, Miami holds the cards. If they decide that trading Ramsey aligns with their future plans, the Falcons could be in a prime position to strike. And let's take a step back for a moment and look at the bigger picture. The Falcons have been building slowly but surely, trying to turn the page after a few tough seasons. Their defense has shown flashes of promise, especially with the likes of A.J. Terrell and the emergence of players like Richie Grant. But what they really need, what could make the difference in close games, is a lockdown corner that can shut down the opposing team's best receiver. Bringing in someone like Ramsey would send a message that Atlanta is serious about contending now, not just in the future. It's about establishing a defense that can hold up against the league's best defenses, especially in the NFC South, where division rivals like the Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are also making moves. The NFC South has always been a competitive division with a mix of veteran savvy and young talent. But lately, it's become clear that the team with the strongest defense and the most reliable secondary tends to have the upper hand. The Falcons, with their promising offense and a young quarterback, are in a position to take a big step forward. But to truly compete at the highest level, they need a secondary that can match up against elite receivers and disrupt timing in the passing game. Acquiring Ramsey would not only give them that, but it would also send a message to the rest of the league that Atlanta is serious about making a deep playoff run this year and beyond. Now, I want to highlight something else. The Falcons' front office, led by General Manager Terry Fontenot, has shown a lot of patience and strategic thinking over the past few years. They've been aggressive when needed, but also prudent with their cap space and draft assets. This time, if they go all in for Ramsey, it will be a testament to their commitment to winning now. It's about balancing the present and future, and making bold moves when the opportunity arises. The fact that they were willing to offer more money to Jair Alexander shows that they're not afraid to pay for talent. And if they can pull off a trade for Ramsey, it will be a clear indication that they're aiming for the top of the NFC and not just settling for incremental improvements. Furthermore, let's talk about the impact this could have on the team's culture. Bringing in a veteran like Ramsey, who's known for his competitive edge and leadership, could elevate the locker room. Young players like A.J. Terrell and others would learn a lot from him, and his presence could ignite a more aggressive, confident defensive mindset. The Falcons have been building something special with their young core, but adding a player of Ramsey's caliber could be the final piece that turns a good defense into a great one. As we look towards the upcoming season, the anticipation is palpable. The AFC and NFC are stacked with talented quarterbacks and explosive offenses, so having a defense that can hold its own is more important than ever. The Falcons are aware of this, and their front office seems ready to make bold decisions to ensure they're not just participating, but competing at the highest level. The potential acquisition of Ramsey could be that game changer, one that elevates the entire team and shifts the balance of power in the NFC South. The division has been a bit of a roller coaster lately, with the Saints making moves to stay competitive and the Bucs trying to find their footing post-Brady. But the Falcons are quietly positioning themselves as serious contenders. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Ramsey is the missing piece that can push this team over the edge? Or do you believe they should focus on other areas of the roster? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Atlanta Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. We're in an exciting time, and the moves made in the coming weeks could define the Falcons' future for years to come. So make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video with all your Falcons friends. We're building a community that loves this team, and every single one of you makes it special. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Falcons!